Hi everyone, so my name is Alina Nagel. I'm manager at PWC Germany, and as already mentioned, I was the responsible project manager at the project we did together with Deutsche Fußballliga, so the DFL, this summer, and we supported them on their ESG developments. So basically, what was the overall goal of DFL? They actually want to be one of the sustainable leagues in the world, if not the sustainable league in the world. So, and because of that, about 1.5 years ago, they started with different activities, with different projects, and actually one part of it, or one result of it was that they anchored ESG or sustainability in the licensing regulations. And they also developed a sustainability guideline which the clubs need to rely on and to implement. So, and part of that were about 120 sustainability criteria which the clubs now need to fulfill in order to basically play in the professional soccer leagues. So 120 criteria, as you can imagine, this is quite a lot. And those criteria cover all aspects, so E, S, and G. So, for example, this could be a code of conduct, which also applies to suppliers. This could be data points that need to be provided in regards to CO2 footprint, or also some kind of training that need to be provided for the employees or for the players concerning anti-racism, for example. So just to name a few. And well, as you can imagine, this is quite a challenge for the clubs. And this is where we came into play this summer. We supported DFL in developing an implementation guide for those criteria, and also some templates and models that could be used as a uniform basis for the clubs to implement those criteria. So within about 10 weeks, we developed the guideline, and we worked closely together with DFL, but also with all 36 clubs, so with the sustainability responsibles. And this was actually really crucial for us, or for the project, because basically in the end, the clubs will be the ones, or in most part, the ones who will use the implementation guide. So it was also important that the guide was developed for the clubs. So actually you have kind of two phases. So first of all, as I mentioned, the implementation phase and the development of sustainability within the clubs. But then you also have the licensing process, which comes afterwards. So especially where the DFL comes into play and checks whether all the criteria are fulfilled or not. And this was also one of the challenges within the project, that we had those different kind of stakeholders. That on the one hand side we had the DFL, but on the other hand side we had the clubs. We have 36 clubs. All the clubs are very heterogeneous, so you have big clubs which have a lot of resources and money available. You have smaller clubs which barely have anything, and also clubs which are already quite advanced when it comes to sustainability, but then there are others which rather see the whole topic a bit critical and think that it's not really a focused that should be set on right now. So this was quite a challenge, and therefore it was really important to keep that in mind and to develop something, or to document information within the guide that is useful for everyone, that is kind of well structured also simple to apply, and the applicability itself of the documents needed to be very high. So keeping that in mind, we then decided to actually develop different versions of the implementation guide. So we had a long version, which is very extensive, with a lot of information on what you actually need to do in order to fulfill the criteria, with other sources in it, with references to regulations, and just a lot of information, especially for those clubs who, are just at the very beginning of sustainability. And then we had a shorter version for those clubs which are already a bit further, which only kind of included the prerequisites that need to be fulfilled, and which kind of evidence just needs to be provided. Then we had different templates, as I already mentioned before, so a lot of them were already included in the long version of the implementation guide, and those were templates on strategies and concepts. And then we also had, of course, templates for data points and confirmation that needed to be provided, a simple Excel spreadsheet. And this was actually also part of the, we call it licensing sheet, which can be used either from the clubs or also by the DFL itself within the licensing process. So either the clubs can tick off which criteria they already fulfill, which are missing, and it's also a tool for the DFL that they can use to check whether all the criteria are already fulfilled. I brought another picture here where you can see also the complexity of the criteria themselves. So as you can see, you have kind of the base, which include like the sustainability strategy and other concepts, and then you have below that different confirmation that you need to provide. You have data points and measures, and all this will actually go into a sustainability report, which will be needs to be supplied in the end. And to make it a bit more, so you can grasp a bit more, I actually brought a use case. So on the left-hand side, you can see a screenshot from the overall pillar on E. So it's called Umwelt und Ressourcen, so the environmental part. And you see below there are different topics. And then I picked out one part, so the environmental strategy. You can see it kind of in the middle. And there you will find 2 to 3, 4 more criteria, which actually need to be fulfilled. And if you look at that special criteria, you will see that it is actually very connected and related to other criteria, which are on the very left-hand side. So this special criteria, for example, relates to a concept for resource management, a code of conduct, which also needs to be for partners and suppliers, a concept for waste management, a concept on water management or on water use, then a concept on food, but also a concept on the infrastructure and buildings. So as you can see, the different criteria are very interconnected and interrelated, and this makes it also very complex and difficult for the clubs to implement it, because you have to think of it from different angles, and not only can go through the list and tick off some boxes and just fulfill one criteria after the next. So this is quite a big challenge for the clubs, and where are they now? Well, we provided the implementation guide by the end of August to them, and now of course they are very deep into the implementation of all the criteria. What is also going to be interesting is if you think about the DFL, because as you can imagine, when you have 36 clubs, each of them has to provide 117 criteria within the next year. This is quite a ton of information and data also for the DFL. So it will be really quite a challenge for them to kind of deal with this data, and we basically expect that they need to come up with a solution for that, and actually also in the best case find a technological solution for that to deal with all the data that they will gather and that they will have to deal with within the next year. Of course, not all the criteria have to be fulfilled at once, so the DFL decided to kind of take a phased approach. So one part of the criteria need to be fulfilled by the beginning of next year, so in March, and the bigger part needs to be fulfilled by September. But then they already gave an outline that there will be more criteria, because as you can imagine, sustainability it's not a sprint, but it's a marathon, and working on it needs to be considered within quite a long time, and it needs to be a development itself. And we are very curious about how, especially the next months will be, and the next year. And I'm still here. If you have some more questions, I don't know if we have time now or maybe later. And thank you for your attention.